Love it.
Yeah.
So, with that, how come you quit the force?
I'm going to give you the short version on this. We won't get too deep.
We can.
It might get deep, but I'm
Uh-huh.
going to let you guys know right off the bat, I don't have a racist bone in my body.
Uh-huh.
I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you wear those socks.
They're red socks.
It's got red socks on. They're actually
Yeah.
pretty cool. I admit it, man.
Thanks, dog.
They stick out, dude. It's cool. But you are who you are. I go 100% by behavior.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a dick, you're a dick. And
Totally.
that's the end of story. I believe in being kind. I believe in being humble. I believe in helping out your fellow human when need be. And I also believe in punishment and law and order.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, people go out and they party and they break the law. I've been there. Hello.
Yeah.
But and I'm smart enough not to draw attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
But things happen. You need to have cops out there, right? I don't know. I personally do not know one single racist police officer. I have never, ever knowingly met a racist cop, male or female, black or white, Asian, Mexican. It doesn't matter. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known a lot of cops. So what does that tell you? I mean, here's a guy. I think you can kind of see my character here.
Totally.
I think doing this twice now. And
Yeah.
I don't
totally.
know what our friends have said or whatever. But, I say our friends. We have a mutual friend in common here.
One friend.
One friend, yeah. I don't know why I said friends, but one friend in common who might have said a couple things. I don't know. But
Uh-huh.
that said, do I look like, and I know you can't look at somebody and say, well, you're a racist or not.
Definitely not.
But what you know of me, do you think I'm a racist?
Definitely not.
Right.
Because you didn't think of that woman as a white woman or a black woman. In the
Didn't
car.
even know. Couldn't even tell the color.
Just saw that there is a woman in need. of help.
Exactly. And on a traffic stop, especially at night, you don't know if the person's black, white, male, or female
Yeah.
until you walk up on the car or you see it in the mirror at the very end. You just don't.
Mm-hmm.
So the movies, they're going to fixate on certain things and they're going to make it. Because, yes, there is racism. Racism exists.
Mm-hmm.
And this does have to do with my job. I'm just kind of letting you know here that kind of boiling to why I quit. So racism does exist. However, it does not exist in my job that I do on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen racism exist in my job for me or my coworkers. And I say knowingly because who knows if they're racist or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen anything done by race or color or creed and gender and blah, blah, blah. So when the BLM started forming their, what do you want to call that? Organization. That's fine. Okay. BLM, Black Lives Matter. Because they do.
They totally do.
And people go around saying they chant all lives matter because they do.
Mm-hmm.
Every life matters. I mean, we've all stepped on ants, killed spiders and whatever. But does that mean you're racist
Mm-hmm.
because you just killed a bug? Or, what's the difference? All lives do matter. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody to say that I'm a racist because I'm a police officer is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And everything got out of hand with the BLM because of some players in the BLM and because of the anarchists and everybody in between, and things got out of control. They should have stopped at that point.
Mm-hmm.
They should have stopped, but they didn't. Instead, they start threatening us more and throwing rocks, fire, this stuff, and it was on both sides. When I say both sides, the anarchists and people of the Black Lives Matter. All the Karens out there that are just sitting there chanting, they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, get back in your Prius and drive away.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to any of you guys who drive Priuses because they are very
Karens.
economical. Or what?
Or Karens.
Or Karens. Yeah, no. Oh,
I know a Karen. She's pretty cool.
Okay, that's cool. I do too, and I admit
Yeah.
that too. I'm on Facebook and I'm friends with everybody, so
Yeah.
it's just a term to use.
Mm-hmm.
However, and I've got friends that are in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Not in BLM, but they support BLM. I got family. I got black members of my family.
Yeah.
So in my family,
Totally.
my stepsister will only date black people. So there is no room for racism from me. So nobody should be saying that I'm a racist. They don't understand our job. All the contacts that every single police officer has the amount of issues are very minute. Are they serious? Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to break it down. They don't want to sit here and listen to the facts. They don't want to listen to the police officer. They think they know our job so much better, and they don't have a clue. That'd be like me telling, what do you do for a living? I don't even know.
Me?
Yeah, like right now, let's just say podcast. Let's just go there. Or artists.
Yeah.
You're an artist. I think you're painting wrong, dude.
Yeah.
I saw how you're brushing. It's wrong, bro.
Yeah.
And the way you're looking at the computer, you're not supposed to do that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think these cameras are set up probably bad angles. And, it's like I can tell you I'm making all that up.
I know. They're Walmart tripods, too. You can make fun of that.
No, hey, man, I'm all about deals, brother.
Yeah,
totally. That's the way I shop. So it's about how you look.
Yeah, totally.
So where I'm going, though, is they ruined my career with all this. Media has a big play in this, too. And for a while, I even dated a news anchor.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'll leave her out of this. But with all this said, these people are over here doing what they think is right on their half. Obviously, they're breaking the law to certain points, and they're hurting other people. They shut down businesses for life, burned them down, looted. Many people have been killed.
They could have even
been
shut down black people's businesses.
They have.
Yeah.
It's been proven. They killed a guy, a black guy, a former cop.
There you go.
It's just out of hand, and yet we're not allowed to. All they did is tie our hands during this whole thing. But no, you get out there and you go do your job, and they did. And I was lucky. I was behind the scenes for 99.9% of the time. I was literally suited up and outside, and suited up meaning just your vest and whatever, doing security around our precinct because we get surrounded all the time. They're doing their chanting. They super glued our doors shut. They tried to burn the buildings down. They overtook the East Precinct because they basically gave it to them because the city leaders are that stupid. And I'm talking city leaders in Seattle. So not the department. I love my department. They treated me very fair. They're smart. We're very diverse. I mean, dude, we got more gays and lesbians and blacks and whites and Hispanics and probably any other department in the nation. So, and we are like writing new books on how to deal with stuff. We do the most training, and yet they're saying we need more training. Like, we're not God. We're cops, and we do our best, and we know what's right. We know how to go into it because we trained for this. We've seen all the scenarios and the best way to go about it. Yeah, you got a group over here saying, "Oh no, that's not the best way," because they know. Yeah. So look what's happening now. So we lost over 300 people in my department. The numbers are miscued, but there's a lot more coming down the piper. And now the mayor of Seattle is begging to get us back. So they never should have done it to begin with. The politics killed me in my career, and that's why I'm out. So I know I go off on it because I take it very personal when they say that, cops are racist or, dude, no, you know what? Every cop, every firefighter, every doctor, whatever, they are a hero amongst themselves. When there's a shooting and people are running, they're going to it. When somebody's dying, they're there first. They do what they can to save that person. And you want to pull race into this, like, well, you know what? How about this? Don't do crime.
Don't do crime.
Yeah, don't do crime, and you won't ever have to worry about getting shot by a cop.
That's very true. So with that, though, what about the cops that are bad? Because there are. There are,
and I've seen some on my department. And we talked before, and I'll just keep this low, but I know of one cop who wound up killing himself because he got arrested. Really good guy. He had a drug problem. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a spear, and we're at the tip of the spear. So all these other people can break the law, and we're going to give them drug court, or they can go to rehab. They can openly say, hey, I've got a drug problem, and not get in big trouble or anything. Police officers, you say you got a drug problem, he'd be all over the news like, what? You're a cop.
That's so
true.
Man,
you're screwed, man. And you get caught with drugs, you're in jail, and you get bigger fine because you're on duty. It's now a federal crime and this, that, and the other, and you're on the news, and they're going to break you down being the bad guy. Yet you got a drug problem, you're a victim.
Yeah.
So
that's very
that
true.
said, don't get me wrong. Drugs, I don't advocate that anybody does drugs. I don't advocate that whether you're a cop or not. I mean, cops, you don't do it. You're supposed to be fighting crime, not doing it, right? Well, this guy had a problem one way or another. He was stealing crack. Crack was his addiction. He was taking it. Again, great guy. Unfortunately, got caught. caught up. Let's say got caught up with the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
He did get caught, and rightfully so. And decided after that, before anything happened, he went home, got another gun, went to a trailhead and shot and killed himself.
Wow.
And he was a married father of 2 girls.
Wow.
And he really was a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But that started something because we didn't have any place to turn to if you have a problem. I mean, we're all human,
Mm-hmm.
and some are weaker than others, and some break, and some snap, and we all have issues. I mean, look at me. I had a gun to my head.
Mm-hmm.
So should I go to jail for that?
Yeah.
Or I didn't need any help, thank God, but if I needed help, I need somebody to turn to.
Mm-hmm.
I'd lose my job, whatever. So, but anyway, he was crooked. He was stealing drugs. Another guy was stealing drugs, jacking people up and taking the dope off them and giving his heroin to his prostitute Chippy. This guy's married and a couple of kids also.
Mm-hmm.
And he was smoking marijuana in the police car on duty.
Wow.
None of us knew that. We turn him in, and we don't put up with crooked cops because you're a cop for a reason.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that people aren't going to do wrong and we're not going to find it, or it might take a while.
Mm-hmm.
There might be an investigation for years before they can actually pinpoint something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like crooked cops. Not at all. Now, that doesn't mean that, hey, if Joe Blow's driving home, because this does happen. I've been driving 90 miles an hour all day long for 9 hours a day. And you get your POV, your privately owned vehicle,
Yeah.
and you're driving home and you're daydreaming about it. You look down like, oh, shit, 80. You
Yeah,
got to dump
'cause
it. And
you're
I've
just
done
used to
that,
it.
man. I know. It's tough, but you got to understand my job's different.
Mm-hmm.
And which means there's different ways your brain's going to function, And I've heard many times I wanted to snap. People like, oh, I would love just to punch this dude. I mean, I'd pay money,
Totally.
but you can't.
Totally.
But some people do. Unfortunately, you got a breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, I don't back any crooked cops.
Yeah.
We can make mistakes, but
What do you want people to understand about cops?
you need to understand. You actually really do. You need to understand that a police officer is a human being, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just saying, here's a uniform, go out and arrest. You're actually trained, and then you have to get the experience. And during that experience, you're going to trip over stuff and make mistakes and not do things right, just like any job. If you see a police officer, just understand that we're human. However, you are trained, and we are the last of, what's the term I want to look for? It's like we're the last, the biggest brain fart right now. What the hell? People to turn to
Mm-hmm.
before chaos can happen.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know what the word is, but there's a term I'm thinking of.
Last line of defense?
Yeah, we'll just do that.
Yeah.
So we have to win no matter what. I can't let you win
Yeah.
because you get my gun. And if you get my gun, you're going to kill me or kill somebody else.
Yeah.
I have to win. And so if you throw a punch, I'm not just going to punch you and then you punch me and I punch you and see, oh, God, I hope I don't pass out first. No, I might have to hit you 2 or 3 or 4 times. I might have to elbow you in the face, take you down on the ground, wrestle you for a while to put you down and then get you in cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
But people see that and they're like, oh, this cop beating the shit out of this guy. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to get it under control.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting me. So if he gave up, like, okay, I quit.
Yeah.
Okay, put you in cuffs, and guess what? We're done.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's supposed to work. But it's ugly. So that when you see stuff, and don't judge the cop that he's beating the crap out of somebody. Understand that maybe he's trying to defend himself. Put
Mm-hmm.
yourself in that situation. So,
You're right. There's always there's always 2 sides of the coin,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's bad cops, but there's also bad people.
There's a lot more bad people than there are bad cops.
Yeah.
I can promise you that.
Totally.
Like I said, I just named 2 bad cops.
Mm-hmm.
There are cops that I don't like because they're dicks, but is that illegal?
No.
No. They had bad days. They've got bad problems too at home.
We're all human.
Yes.
We're all just we're all human.
That's right, man. So, yeah, if you're gonna, I guess if I was to pass anything on, just give them some credit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Or get back to reality.
Cut them some slack too, because correct me if I'm wrong, you are totally trained to kill, right? Every second of your when you're not every second, but when you're a cop, you are always preparing for, okay, how can this go bad, and what can I do to prevent this escalating worse, even if it's just a traffic stop with me.
Right. Traffic stop. You look at the cops that have been killed. The majority are killed on domestic violence or traffic stops.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my God, this officer came up to my car. He had his hand on his gun.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop-de-doo. Was it pulled out? I mean, you got to unsnap, turn, push, whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little mechanisms you got to do to pull a gun, but they're just getting ready because they don't know you. And then once they see you, whatever, and if you're under control and your hands are there, and, you know, we're going to relax too.
Totally.
Until we get up there and find out what's up. If you want to get an attitude with a cop, we don't know what's going to happen. If you want to keep leaning around and not listening to the officer saying, hey, don't reach for anything, but then you keep reaching for something, it's kind of on you.
Totally. And Ted Bundy was super charismatic, right? He was a woman charmer. He was like, no one expected Ted Bundy, and look who he turned out to be.
Ted Bundy. That's right, man.
You just never know people.
Yeah.
And like, that's what your job is, defending people. And so when you don't know who anyone is, you're constantly being put in stress, and sometimes it does boil over and mistakes happen.
Yeah.
And innocent people get killed because we're all human. And then we're all human, and so innocent people get killed, and at the same foot, innocent cops get killed because we're only human.
Dude, if you looked at all the cops that get shot,
yeah,
you'd be amazed. Shot and stabbed. You'd be amazed. Just because they lived, you never hear about it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have anywhere from 100 to 200 cops a year killed. That's just killed.
Yeah.
In the line of duty. That's not stabbed, oh, you barely made it or lived, or you're crippled for life. And, man, it's a boatload, dude.
Totally.
So, yes, we have to kill people sometimes. Do we want to? Hell no. We don't become a cop saying, I'm going to kill people. Right on, dude.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the last thing you want to do. That's the last thing you want to do, because you got to live with this for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
have you ever killed anyone, or almost?
No, I've almost. When you say almost, I've almost shot a couple of people, or it was just.
What are those stories?
Well, I'll say this one in FTO. I think we might have talked a little bit briefly on this one because it's one that pops in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But my FTO, the field training officer, is in plain clothes and came out as a shots fired. Guy just shot. He's in a disturbance at 105 in Aurora. That's its AM PM. Big trouble spot for druggies. And I guess he got in an argument with something and shot around up in the air and took off northbound on foot. Camouflage jacket, lots of hair, black male, I think jeans and boots was the description. So, boom, we're shooting down Aurora. I worked third watch this nighttime, probably around midnight or 2 o'clock, somewhere in there. And my partner sees him as we're going by. I'm like, hey, that's him. He's back there. So, whipped the bitch, came back. Lights are on. We're right in the middle of Aurora right now, and he's over on the side. But take him down at gunpoint. Another unit, my buddy John, pulls up on the side. He's got a side view. I've got the back view, and so does my partner. And we're telling him to stop, and he just kept, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. That's all he kept saying over. I didn't do nothing. One hand's in the pocket. The other hand's got a bag. We don't know what's in the bag. Turns out it was alcohol, but whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but just like with that, like we're saying, you just never know.
Well, his hand's on the gun, turns out, in his pocket. We figured that. I mean, it's more than obvious. So, and he also had a big pocket full of bullets. For what? We don't know what he was doing at the time. But anyway, the partner over the side, John, winds up yelling, gun, he's got a gun. He can see it. It's like, all right, drop the gun. I didn't do nothing. Finally, he pulls it out and he throws it down. But it was like that fast. It's like, boom. All of our triggers went halfway. Now, back then, it wouldn't have even been questioned. It's like, hey, man, he had a gun.
Yeah.
Pulling it out, which was stupid. All I had to do was let go and go like this and comply. But you pull a gun out of your pocket when cops have their guns on you, come on, man, you're asking to get shot.
Totally.
Period. We don't know if you're going to go like this. I mean, John's right there. It takes 2 seconds to go like this and pull a trigger.
Yeah.
And remember this, we'll call it a math problem. Action is faster than reaction.
Yeah.
So he's doing the action. You got to react. You're going to be slower. So I can take a gun right now and go pop, 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 pop. Before you even realize what am I supposed to do, before I realize even what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Right. So either way, it turned out great. We didn't pull our triggers all the way. We critiqued it later. It's like, dude, I just put my finger on the trigger and was getting ready to dump him.
Yeah, totally.
But he throws it down, hands are in the air now. All right, boom, take him down. Cuff him. He was a fugitive out of Florida, felony warrant for something. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Not a nice guy. So, but a lucky guy that night because he should have had multiple bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Or could have had multiple bullets. Nowadays, I mean, we'd all be on trial for what?
Mm-hmm.
You can't go by color. You have to go by behavior.
Totally.
So, anyway, that was one point where, honest to God, it was just so close.
Totally.
So close.